Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. If you've got a real estate question, you can give us a call here at the studio at 281-882-8088, and we'll be happy to answer your questions on the air. If we need a specialist to answer your question about anything from title to surveys, appraisals, whatever your question is, just leave your question. We'll find the answer if we don't already have it, and we'll get that on the air for you next week. This segment of the show, I've got Matt Buchanan on with me. He is the president of the Pearland Economic Development Corporation, and Pearland has grown so much. We're talking this show about the different areas of town and the growth that's going on and kind of what's happening around us. So welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, you live in Pearland, right?
I live in Pearland.
So what is so great about Pearland?
Well, I think, Pearland's a community that's got a great location here in our Houston region. I think it's a big city now. It's over 100,000 people, but I still think people have that sense of a small community and that sense of neighborhood that people always yearn for. And I think that's what Pearland makes Pearland special and unique. And obviously, we've got quality schools. We've got good access to the employment regions throughout our region. And I think those are just some of the reasons that people call Pearland home.
And you work with the Economic Development Corporation. Tell us what you guys do. What is your mission?
Sure. Our corporation was founded in 1995, and it was approved by the voters of Pearland. And we collect a half-cent sales tax. And there's corporations, I think there's over 500 of these like-kind corporations throughout Texas that communities approve to carry out economic development activities. I think it's a very progressive way for communities at the grassroots level to really make sure their economy is growing. So we have a lot of flexibility of things that we can do with the money. It has to be approved by a 7-member board we have, and sometimes with our city council's approval. But we attract businesses like you traditionally think, but then we also do infrastructure projects, roads, sewers, and all those things, all the things that are important to have growth in your community.
So right now, what are some of the businesses that y'all are bringing into Pearland? Well,
we've had a lot of growth recently. Obviously, the community has grown tremendously from a residential perspective, and probably starting in about mid-2004 or 5, 6, we actually started to see a lot of retail come to our community. So we've had a lot of commercial growth with the Pearland Town Center, which is probably the most notable development in town, where Macy's and Dillard's, but opened about 2008, and then Shadow Creek Town Center, which was developed by RREA here in the Houston area, and Sencor developed the 288 crossing. So we've had a lot of retail growth. The last 3 years, Pearland has been ranked as the fastest growing retail market in all of Texas.
Wow.
Of the top 50 retail markets in Texas, over a 3-year period, averaged out, we've been number one for the last 3 years. So we've had a lot of retail growth in the community. But then we've also been trying to diversify the economy because, typically when a community develops suburban style, you don't have as much job opportunities in your community. And we've been really working on that. We've had leadership that's been very focused on seeing that happen. And so we've just attracted one of our biggest new projects is Kelsey-Seybold just opened their 170,000 square foot headquarters, consolidating multiple facilities around the region into Pearland, brought 800 jobs into our community. So that was a very, very large project. And then just also recently, we've had a lot of hospital growth. Memorial Hermann has just broke ground on a new hospital, $80 million, 64 beds. And then the Hospital Corporation of America, HCA, is going to be breaking ground in September on the Pearland Medical Center. So a lot of healthcare development, but we've had some retail development, and then a lot of other areas.
Sounds like it's really growing, and it's different from some of the other areas that we've talked about today because it's not so focused on that oil and gas, which so many of the areas around Houston are focused on.
Sure.
So it's interesting that it's retail.
Yeah. Well, and we do, historically, Pearland, we do have, Weatherford,
right,
Baker Hughes.
You still have it. It's
They're
just
all
not the
there.
dominating.
It's just not as dominating maybe in our community, but I would never diminish the impact the energy industry has on our community and our entire region.
So somebody living living in Pearland, what kind of commute are they looking at to get downtown to work?
It depends. I think probably 25 minutes usually. I think the summer's obviously better than now back to school. I think adds to the commute a little bit. But that was originally, I think, the big draw to Pearland, because Pearland's right on the Beltway, where some of the other suburban communities that we talk about a lot are even farther out from the Beltway 8. And Pearland is right on that Beltway. But the Pearland, the Beltway, south part of the Beltway there did not open until 1997. So it was one of the later areas of the Beltway to be finished. And when that took off, then we had the 288, which was a few years before that was completed. It really gave us access to the job centers, and that's what really caused us to grow. So a lot of our people, the Texas Medical Center would be the dominant. So the 77584 zip code, which is the west side of Pearland, has the highest concentration of Texas Medical Center employees of any zip code in the entire Houston region.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So as Pearland has grown, we've grown with the Texas Medical Center. So I always tell people the Texas Medical Center is our most valued employer. It might not be in Pearland, but it's our most valued employer.
Okay. And some changes are coming to 288, which will help people get to Pearland from the Houston area.
There's been a concerted effort between the leadership of our community and many of the communities and areas in leadership on the 288 corridor, our county commissioners, to see that we can get some improvements made to 288. And so Harris County some time ago gave up their jurisdiction to build toll lanes in the 288. And so the state of Texas right now is getting ready to hopefully get a concessionaire on board to build 2 lanes in each direction that will be toll lanes all the way from Pearland all the way up to downtown Houston. And then Brazoria County will be doing their share in Brazoria County in the northern portions of 288. So we think it's really going to, continue to allow the growth that we need to have in the 288 corridor, but also give our residents some relief on the traffic.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will welcome that change.
It's always welcome. Yeah.
So tell me about entertainment down there in Pearland. Do you have any famous people from Pearland?
Our most famous person right now is probably Ronnie Killian. Killian Steakhouse in Pearland is one of the top 10. Travel and Leisure magazine just ranked it as one of the top 10 steakhouses in the United States.
So if you're going to Pearland, you need to eat there.
Steak. Well, and then he just recently announced that he's going to do a barbecue place. And so he's been doing a little pop-up tent at the location of it right in our Old Town site area, which is going to be a great addition to our Old Town part of our community. And he probably every morning, starting at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, has 50, 60 people waiting in line to get his barbecue.
Oh, wow.
And so Ronnie's a well-known chef in our region, but he's probably right now our biggest celebrity. And he's drawing a lot of attention now from his steakhouse, but now he's getting into barbecue. And so we're real excited about that.
Interesting. And you've got some golf down there. You've got a lot of master plan communities there as well.
Definitely. Silver Lake is one of our older master plans communities. A portion of the majority of it's not in our city, but kind of put Pearland on the map, was a Johnson development. And then to the west, Shadow Creek Ranch, which is our largest master plan community, over 3,000 acres. I think last year it was ranked as the 5th most successful master plan community. But over the last 15 years, it's probably been one of, if not the most successful master plan community in the Houston area, and has really added a great amenity to our community.
What are the demographics like there? Give us a rundown on what the city's made up of.
Our city's very diverse. I can't off the top of my head, but we're very diverse. I think we're probably about 50% Anglo, and then the rest would be of various different races. But there's a large Hispanic population, a large African American population, and a large Asian population. Our demographics, I think, really reflect Houston as a whole, and maybe might be a little bit unique for some of the suburban communities.
And it really is a suburban community. It's got that master plan community feel. I mean, it's
but we still have
that small town feel.
Yeah, and there's different parts of the community that I think you feel like you're in a planned neighborhood, but then there's still the Old Town area that I think gives the community a little bit of character back when the city was settled back 1894 when it was named Pearland and the first 500 acres was settled.
All right, and tell us anything interesting that you foresee coming to Pearland. Any interesting companies moving that direction, or
we continue to have good interest in manufacturing. We have quite a few manufacturing projects that we're working on. Dover Energy just announced a new facility in our community, so we do have some of the energy connection. We focused a lot on life science, and so Merit Medical, which is based in South Jordan, Utah, is building a medical R&D facility, manufacturing facility. So we're very excited about that. So we continue to have a good amount of growth in both office and manufacturing. And then we have an area there at Beltway 8 and 288. We call it the Lower Kirby District. There's a large Bass Pro there. And we still think that that's going to be hopefully a entertainment center and a regional employment for the southern part of the region. We've got a lot of healthcare now in our area, and with the shopping and entertainment, I think that'll continue to come. We think we're going to kind of be that hub on the southern part of the Houston region.
Very good. All right. Well, we appreciate the information. A lot of good information. I like it. It's a nice growing area.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I know
today.
a lot of people are looking at moving to this area, so that's a suburb for them to take into consideration.
They'll always be welcome.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. We'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio.